Hey, how's it going? We have David. Welcome to another typology interview. Welcome,
Hello.
David. So I
Thanks.
already know, I already know your ISTP.
Hmm.
And we talked. You're double feminine. That's what you were typed as. And then
Yeah.
you go consume, sleep, then blast,
Last play. Yeah.
play last,
So, hmm?
play last.
Play last. Yeah.
Right there you go. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so so got that out of the way. Let's just talk about your history and typology first. Just start how you got into this.
Yeah. So I got in pretty long time ago, really. I think it was back in high school, back in 2014. I took the kind of 16 personalities test, and I think I got INTP the first time.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I kind of resonated with that. I could relate a lot. But I felt like there was something that wasn't quite right. But I kind of just tried to take a good hard look on myself and just kind of answer the questions as good as I could.
Right.
And I could see I got different results each time, and I could kind
Sorry,
of
I'm
relate
typing.
to all the different types. So I was kind of confused, and so I started looking more into the theory, like these cognitive functions, and kind of just tried to type myself based on like the cognitive functions and such. But even then, I had like a really hard time. So after some time, I think I just kind of just gave up on trying to figure it out because there was all these kinds of inconsistencies. So, but then I discovered Dave's Superpowers
Yeah.
YouTube channel. I think that was like 2016. I just discovered it randomly on Reddit or something. And I could sense that this guy kind of he knew what he was talking about, and it kind of made sense when he explained things.
Yeah, he definitely
And
has the confidence when he talks, right?
yeah, he
Yeah.
sure has. But it also made more sense, I think, than just like kind of
Right.
just making a dividing line and kind of just using this objective system. So yeah, it really felt like he knew what he was talking about. So I started watching him a bit more like sporadically because I kind of lost interest in MBTI, but so just kind of watching it like once in a while, and
Yep.
uh, and then my interest kind of grew again, and then I signed up for the class because I wanted to learn more about the system and
So I'm definitely getting the sensory. Like you're really giving me a sensory report on like the
yeah,
whole history. Yeah, and it's very accurate and the timeline. So like I'm surprised you got feminine sensory because it's
yeah.
really
So
the sequence of events, the memory. Yeah.
it is kind of something I struggle with, though, to just kind of recollect the details. So it's
Right.
kind of something I'm consciously trying to be more clear in that regard. But
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think the same thing happens. Like you could actually fool people into to thinking that you're good at remembering the timeline if you remember it intuitively. Like if you're
yeah,
able to intuitively piece in the fragments of what happened, and you're like,
yeah.
well, and then you deduce it. Like when you're telling the story back, you're not saying I remember it was 2015. You're like, well, it must have been 2015 because that's the way it was organized, right?
Yeah,
So is that
I
what you're
don't.
doing when you're talking, or you're remembering exactly like the sequence of events?
Mm, I don't really remember like very like specifically dates and such.
Right.
It's more like kind of vague, like in that kind of time period. So it's kind of like sequential, uh, if that's what you meant. But
Right.
yeah, so I feel like I can definitely see how I'm feminine on the sensory because I tend to just like I feel like I can remember the concepts very well,
Right.
but not like um, the details.
So I was given masculine sensory, but I feel also like very similar to that. Like once
Yeah.
I've gotten the concept, I'll never forget it. But like until I get there, yeah.
Yeah, it could be that you're kind of in the middle. I don't know how that works, but
Right. Yeah.
so it's kind of tricky because like in OP you kind of have like these binary coins, but I guess reality is usually not all that binary.
Right.
So yeah, but I see that it could be hard to kind of figure out.
So you got to know Dave's superpowers, and then you learned through him. You joined the class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so kind of like that. Yes, I joined the class, and I thought I would spend some time kind of learning more about typing people, but I just spent most of the time just watching Q&As.
Right.
So yeah, because I also feel like I have a lot of other different interests that I also want to kind of learn more about, and yeah, so I kind of neglected that OP stuff, but yeah, so I was member for 2 months, and then I got video typing, and
Great. And
yeah,
so you thought you were TINI. You were telling me before you were
yeah,
typed.
I
You
thought
thought your
that.
sleep. Yeah, because you got the double activated sleep, right? So
Yeah, I got.
right.
So it makes sense in that regard that I would type
Yeah.
myself as TINI.
No.
So
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing like a lot of sensory from you. Well, so far, I don't know. We'll see what happens later. But yeah.
yeah, let's see. So
Um, what kind of conclusions have you come to? Like, do you have like a cool conclusion that you've come to, like a cool NI conclusion that you could share with us, just like generally?
that's a quite broad question.
Yeah, it's quite broad. Yeah. Well, maybe you have something that you want to talk about. I don't know.
mm, well,
It could be
uh,
simple ones, even like just figuring out how to fold the laundry properly, or I don't know, something simple even.
I mean that's a really hard question actually.
Yeah.
Like I guess you could talk like I like reading about like spirituality and such. So and that's kind of like um, where most of my NI goes, I feel. Um, so I feel like I have lots of insights in a sense. I kind
Right.
of just picking one out the spot.
Okay. Well, if you remember one, interrupt the flow of the conversation, and we'll blast about it.
What you say?
If you remember one during the interview, just interrupt the flow of the conversation, and we'll get
Yeah,
to
sure
talking about it.
thing.
Yeah. Cool. So your first function is TI. You got TI when you typed yourself.
Yeah.
Was it that obvious?
Uh, yeah, I guess I had also been thinking about maybe NI
Right.
first, but I guess that doesn't really make all that much sense. But I was pretty confident on TI because I always spent like lots of time thinking in my head and all that stuff, and it also made sense with like um, identity, like. But I still wasn't all that sure about TI either.
Oh, really? Okay. Did you have like
Yeah.
the FE swings throughout your life?
What is that?
Like the demon swings from FE? Did you have those throughout your life? Problems with the
Yeah,
tribe? Yeah.
yeah, I
Feeling like the
definitely have.
underdog? Yeah.
Yeah, like insecurity with the tribe kind of thing.
Right.
So I guess that's kind of why I settled on TI
Yeah.
because I've always kind of had issues with that. Like, but I still wasn't entirely sure. I also thought maybe FI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and oftentimes I feel like the more time I spend thinking about it, the less further off I kind of stray off. That's kind of something I have
Yeah.
experienced.
Did
But, yeah.
did you Did you understand what TI was before you put yourself as TI? Like, are you starting to see yourself more now? Like, are you starting to learn and understand what TI is, and maybe have a description of it for us, at least for you, how it works for you?
Yeah, I don't really see all that clearly, like TI specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I see more kind of the animal sleep, like when I'm not consuming. So I feel like I have a good sense of what sleep is, like TI and I.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's predominantly just it's just kind of figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's just kind of TISC.
Do you know when you're right about something?
Hmm?
Do you know when you're right about something? Do
I
you feel
know
like
when,
you know? Do you feel like you know when you're right about something?
like I know what I'm writing about.
Not writing like W, writing like you feel like you know when something's true?
Yeah, I feel like I have a kind of good sense of that.
Right.
But I'm not quite sure.
If something wasn't true, would you know where to locate why it wasn't true?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
We just kind of do some research on the internet.
on the internet.
Uh,
But like,
that's
what
what
about
you're
in
getting
this?
at.
What about in the logical structure of?
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I guess I kind of see inconsistencies. That's mostly when I notice something isn't true, I kind of see like this inconsistency. Because that's something I kind of struggle with when typing myself, that I arrive at a conclusion and then I kind of see this case which kind of invalidates it, kind of makes it inconsistent, you know. So I guess I'm kind of striving for like an internal consistency, like a kind of structure where all things kind of make sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just close the window. Yeah, so I'm definitely striving for like consistency in my mind, I guess.
We have a question here. How do you determine credibility?
Some difficult questions. I guess I kind of just feel like intuitively if something rings true. I know that's not quite credible, but that's just kind of how I go about like researching stuff. I just read a lot, and I kind of find those things that make sense, you know.
So you say you have a trust for information, like you trust information that you get even without looking up if it's credible or not. Like you,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess I can be
If
quite
something sounds
naive.
true, then you, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely be quite naive and like uh, believe kind of weird things, and yeah, but I don't really feel all that attached to it, maybe. So
Right. Yeah.
it's like I can read something, and if it's like from a guy who I really trust,
Mm.
then I will just take it, really.
Do you try to remember the sources of where you get information from? No.
Not really, but
So then once you get the information, where does it go? Does it go into this is true pile? Does it go into this could be true pile?
yeah, I think it goes more into like
This is just something I read pile. Maybe it'll link with
yeah,
something
this is
later.
just something I read. It's not doesn't have like super high meaning to me. But I guess that kind
Right.
of depends on what it is. If it's like very illuminating, then definitely goes in the probably true pile.
The probably true pile. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like if it works, then it's likely true.
If it works, then it's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it's easy to believe things like that. They sound good, but it doesn't really work. So that's often something I strive for.
Would you? Is there a case where something works but it's not true?
Well, I guess you're kind of going into the NF realm there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. Because oftentimes you just gotta do things, and it's not really based on like logic, I guess. Yeah. So.
But if it's true, it has to work. Like that's the logic there. If it's true, it has to work. But if it works, it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah. I think you can't have something that is true but doesn't work, you know. And it's not really true. You gotta have like a basis in reality, you know. So that's what I think. Yeah. So because what's really the use of like this truth if it has like no
application?
Yeah. So that's kind of something I strive towards. If it's like doesn't really have any application, then why hold on to it really? That's
So you're never seeking truths that have nothing to do with an application? You're never seeking some kind of deeper truth that
I still feel like deeper truths have a kind of application. You know. So like even like spiritual stuff, I still have like an application of feeling more calm, feeling more seeing things more clearly, being able to deal with things in a better way, being able to kind of handle life's ups and downs, you know. So I still kind of see a practical application for that in a sense.
Okay, so let's take smoking. It's an easy example, right? So smoking, is it healthy?
No.
No.
Or probably not.
Probably not. Is it okay.
I've actually heard that organic smoking can be healthy, but I'm not sure about the accuracy of that.
Is it good for the economy? Is it good for your wallet? Like, is there any reason you should smoke?
I don't know, personal satisfaction, I guess.
Personal satisfaction?
Yeah.
So like, let's take the axiom that smoking is false, right?
Yeah.
So then it should follow that it's true to stop people from smoking, right?
I think that's a quite like naive conclusion, but
it's a naive conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to show you like an example of what's true, but might not actually have an application in reality, because you can't really impose that on reality, even though it's true.
Yeah, but right? Like I feel like truth is very broad.
Okay.
Even though like one logical sentiment is true, and like it's hard to say that anything is true really, because they're all just kind of a way of perceiving something. So I feel like truth is a very like abused term. So you might get close to truth if you kind of take all these different things together, and then you kind of get the taste of it. But maybe
you need more than one perspective, you're saying.
Yeah, that's a sure thing.
Yeah, to triangulate on it, right? Okay. Do you have anything about TI that you figured out that makes sense to you?
About TI?
Yeah. Before we move on, anything else maybe you want to say about TI?
Not like anything specific, I guess. I think it's just kind of like thinking with an introverted charge. I feel like that makes sense. But I'm kind of trying to kind of pinpoint what it actually is, but I kind of have a hard time doing it. So I feel like I don't feel like I can say all that much about it just yet.
Okay. Well, we talked a bit about SE when you were talking about the applicability to reality, which is probably what you were referring to with SE. Like TE will also say the same thing. It'll say what works is true, but I think it'll come to it from a different reason. So I was seeing, I don't know if this is accurate or not. You tell us if that's what you meant when truth has to be applicable to the SE, basically. If you meant SE when you were saying applicable rather than it works in a TE way.
Yeah, probably like SE, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
how do you see SE?
How
do you see SE for yourself?
Kind of just gathering information, data. Yeah, kind of just like this consume thing.
Is it hard for you to? Would you rather absorb like reality? Like is that what SE feels like? Like you want to get data points that are like congruent with reality, that you've measured in reality, rather than just concepts that people are passing over that might not be relatable to reality?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it should have like one, yeah. Definitely feel like it should have like a basis in reality, I guess.
Right.
Not necessarily measurable, but at least able to be experienced, I guess.
And abstracting like a pattern from that one like, I don't know, let's say a sensory path, a series of events, right? So abstracting something from that, and then like you were saying, several different perspectives. So take a different series that's similar and abstracting from that sort of thing. That's more of what you would rather do than just have someone tell you right away what the abstraction was.
I kind of lost track, so can you repeat?
Like, do you need your abstractions to be grounded in reality? When someone talks to you and explains to you something, do you need them to give you examples?
Yeah, I definitely like examples. Okay. I feel like it makes it easier for me to understand things if I have like an example or something. Although I can just work out to just like the concept without examples. Examples definitely makes it easier to just kind of pinpoint.
What about like what about in terms of it being feminine? You said you saw that was accurate.
Yeah.
Do you see how your SE is feminine? Does it make sense? Do you forget details?
I feel like I forget details all the time.
Is it easy to gaslight you, to tell you something happened when it didn't?
Yeah, probably. I don't really care all that much about details. It's just kind of a nuisance, I guess.
Will you argue about them, the details, about what actually happened? Will it upset you if someone said something happened that didn't?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of vulnerable to that kind of thing. If someone kind of says that something happened, I'm not really all that good at remembering like specifics. But yeah, I often feel like I can have like a quite bad memory, in fact. But yeah, so I guess that kind of makes it feminine, you know. So yeah.
Do you see yourself as double observing?
Double observing. Yeah, I guess. But it's kind of hard to see, you know.
Yeah. Do you get stuck sometimes on things, on technology, on getting something to work?
No, not really. Not that
Does it
I
stress
can
you out when something's not working?
Not really. I always find a way, like somehow.
Yeah.
Like I don't really give up when it comes to like figuring things out. That's something I kind of have like that drive, you know. So yeah, I think that if I just put in the effort, I will eventually find a way, although it might not.
What about like freedom and stuff? Is that important to you? Do you hate it when people try to control you, or when you're stuck in a situation that you don't have many options? I don't know.
I guess it kind of depends on the person.
The
If it's
person.
like someone I respect, I don't really mind if they tell me what to do. But if it's like if they're like doing it in like a disrespectful way or something, then I guess I would kind of dislike it. Yeah, but generally I don't really mind having like doing what I've been told when it's like as a teacher or something. I don't really mind. I just do the thing, you know.
What
Yeah,
about the law and police and the state or stuff like that?
I generally respect the law and the police, and I see that without them, this society would kind of just fall apart. But so I don't really have any problem with that. I don't. So I see. Yeah, so that's something I respect.
Do you see any? Do you struggle sometimes with certain laws or certain rules, as you see them as not being correct or fair, or they just are and you got to accept them?
I think it's kind of silly that like weed and psychedelics are illegal, but that's not. Yeah, that's not really something I'm all too concerned about. I just think it's kind of stupid that it's illegal and that they're in general kind of waging a war against drugs, which does not work. So yeah, I definitely see the silliness in that. So yeah.
But no, like no big swing about that sort of thing existing. No. Okay.
Not really. I guess if it was like preventing me from the law was preventing me from doing something that I really wanted, then I guess I would be a bit more upset about it. But
what kind of things do you really want? What kind of things are you interested in?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. Yeah, right now I'm kind of at the point where I would like to explore a little bit more. Because I'm getting kind of tired of like computer science, and I'm kind of questioning if this is the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life, and I kind of just like.
So do you feel trapped in it a bit? Do you feel trapped with your decision to study computer science?
Yeah, kinda. I'm just now kind of considering just taking a year off, where I'm like a gap year, where I'm kind of traveling around the world and staying at different like workaway hosts, if you have heard of that. It's like where you stay at different hosts and they give you food and shelter for you working for them. And I see that could be a good opportunity to get some space, kind of figure out what I really want. And yeah, it just seems like a very nice experience, to just kind of live close to nature or something. Yeah, it's at a really peaceful place and just kind of get the time to think deeply about things, because I'm kind of at the fence about what I'm doing now. And it's taking up so much work. It's a quite rough study program. I don't really feel like I get time to just kind of like really deeply relax and kind of think things through. So yeah, so that's kind of something I'm considering at the moment.
How is the how are you with chaos, and how are you with uncertainty?
I guess it depends. Like I'm not actually a very big fan of uncertainty. It is quite painful, really, I think. So I guess I've always been kind of avoidant. And particularly like with people, like if there's lots of people, lots of chaos, I just kind of I just find that kind of draining, So I just kind of tend to avoid that, like this kind of social chaos. And I remember as a kid, I would kind of also be the same. Like kindergarten, I would often kind of retreat from these chaotic kids. So I always kind of tended to prefer just having like one good friend who I would spend most of my time with. So yeah, so that's kind of like the social chaos. But like chaos otherwise, yeah, I guess I can be kind of. I don't really like that either.
How do you deal in stressful situations, or in a situation where like things are going wrong and you have to think on your feet, sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess I can freak out. It's not like I'm super calm all the time, but generally I'm not all that stressed out. And I don't really feel like I often end up in a situation where I'm like super stressed out. I guess that kind of maybe a lack of life experience or something. I don't know. But yeah. It's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
In one way, I kind of would like a bit more chaos in my life, but at the same time, I tend to avoid it. Kind of weird. So.
How are you with the tribe? How are you with the FE? Do you know how you feel? Are you aware what other people are feeling?
Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what other people are feeling, but I don't really feel like I'm all that good at kind of moving it. So I feel like I can kind of sense what people are feeling, but I might not know exactly why.
What about their intentions?
Yeah, I feel like I can see people's intentions, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But I generally tend to assume that people have good intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which might be kind of naive, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that also I struggle with as well. Like just assuming people have good intentions, and then
Yeah,
you can't really tell when they don't.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not. In one way, I feel like that's a kind of a good thing
Mm-hmm.
to just kind of be able to see the good in others. But yeah, I guess it could come as a surprise sometimes when you kind of figure out that people might not actually have the best intentions sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a bit surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find yourself maybe testing people's intentions to see if they can prove them to you?
Uh,
Or if someone's proven that they've had bad intentions, are you easily able to cut them out of your life? Or
I don't really all that often encounter people with bad intentions, I feel.
okay.
Or I might be, but I'm not just kind of oblivious to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have it like if someone has kind of broken like a boundary, or like if we just kind of so I don't really feel like I have all that difficult time kind of just uh, leaving people in the dust, I might say, because yeah, like with friendships and such, it's not like I hold all that much value in it. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of weird, but yeah, but I feel like I can be like good friends with someone, and if we somehow were to just kind of like not be friends anymore, it's just like it's not like that big of a deal to me, I guess.
What about keeping in touch with people that are your friends and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of bad at that actually,
Mm-hmm.
and I should probably do put in more effort to keep in touch with people.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't feel like that's something I naturally tend to do. I just kind of like
You don't feel responsible for it.
not really actually, although I am, but that's definitely kind of avoid. I think I'm leaving behind after me, like
Right.
not showing my appreciation for people, not
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of forgetting them almost. It's kind of selfish, but so yeah.
Um, do you feel like you'd be easy to take advantage of? Be taken advantage of? Like it'd be
Take
easy
advantage
to
of
trick
me.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Uh, I don't guess I don't really feel like that's a problem. I don't. Yeah, I guess you could kind of come into that on like assuming good intentions, but I think I kind of sense it um, when people kind of have bad intentions. I guess when they're
Mm-hmm.
not really all that sincere, um, and I feel like I'm kind of good on picking up on that actually what people are um, actually feeling or what they're kind of hiding away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I often feel like I kind of see this, and it's kind of obvious to me what they're doing, but yeah, it's not something I will share with them, you know.
Do you feel like does it ever happen that the tribe maybe comes out against you? Um, yeah.
Yeah, that has definitely happened a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
Like now that we're older, people are much more polite now that we are like not children anymore. But I remember as a kid, I would often get people against me. That's definitely a thing. And I often wouldn't really know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also did this thing where I would kind of deliberately provoke people just for attention, I guess, and so they would like naturally grow to dislike me, you know. But yeah, I have kind of a tendency to just kind of feel like people are against me.
So we have a question. Do you think psychedelic experiences are a good way for your SE to gather more data?
I can just say that I've never done psychedelics, so I never, I don't know. But yeah, I suspect that would probably be the case. Because yeah, that's a very interesting observation, actually. Like psychedelics to gather more data. But I think psychedelics, from the way I have, the way I understand it, it kind of morphs your entire psyche, and not just necessarily like sensory kind of stuff, but also kind of your thinking and your intuition and all these kinds of stuff. But I'm not really sure what psychedelics feel like, so I'm not really all that sure. But
a huge part of them is getting rid of your ego, your sense of self.
Yeah, probably that's the way I understand it. So, and I can definitely see the appeal for that, and just kind of this kind of spiritual growth. And I'm kind of on that path. I feel, to get more in touch with my true nature and kind of remove all the things that are preventing me from seeing things clearly. And that's definitely something I'm trying to do, to just kind of become more conscious, actually. And I see psychedelics as a potential tool for that, although I haven't tried it, but might someday, I don't know. So yeah. But,
we have a little argument here in the section. We have self is not ego, and then we have someone else saying self is ego. So we'll leave that to the comments below if you guys want to debate down there.
But what do you have when there's no ego? I don't know.
Okay, what about your blast? I can tell your blast isn't very high.
Yeah, it's actually a third animal.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised at that myself, that it wasn't like last. But yeah, so I feel like
He says this way too often. It's a joke he loves to say. It's not even a new joke anymore,
okay,
Thomas.
I'm an ISTP. Yeah.
Anyways,
but last, well, I often feel like I have struggles like articulating myself and kind of knowing what I want to say, but not like kind of being able to like getting it out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's something I struggle with. But so even as last third, it's still a demon though. So yeah, but yeah, so that's something I've struggled with, like articulating myself clearly. And
what about getting started on things? Is that hard for you?
I don't really feel like that's particularly hard.
What about writing, music, creativity, things like this?
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of comfortable with writing, but I suspect that might be because I've kind of done it a lot. I have participated in forums and such, and I like to kind of like share my perspectives on the internet, where I kind of get time to like kind of reflect and kind of put it into words, because I don't really feel like I get time to do that now that I'm talking. I don't have time to I can't just pause the conversation for 20 minutes to kind of answer your question. I kind of have to think on my feet.
Yeah. So that's what play is. That's exactly what play is. You got to think on your feet. You got to be in the moment.
Yeah. So
but so I found like you can just, if you don't have the answer ready, you could just be like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to think about that and get back to you, sort of thing, and it's acceptable answer.
Yeah. So definitely feel like I have to like think things through to make up a proper answer.
Yeah.
Because now it's just like silly things. I don't know.
Right. So if I were to redo this interview later, you would have different answers and better answers, you think?
Yeah, if you
I
gave
gave you
me
time to
like
prepare.
a list of all your questions and gave me time to just kind of properly kind of think about it, then it would be 10 times better, I think.
Right. Yeah. So blast is coming after sleep, and it's coming after consume, I guess. You want to do your research too before you blast?
Yeah. So I'm not like blast first or something.
Do you feel like you're info dominant? Do you feel like information
Yeah, I'm
is everything? Do you take information really seriously? Do you hate it when people screw around with information, make wrong conclusions?
Yeah, I feel like information is kind of important, and but I'm not like all too obsessed with it, I guess. But I definitely respect the information, and I remember as a kid, I would kind of always point out at other kids when they were saying something wrong or whatever. So it was kind of like, yeah. So I guess I'm kind of information dominant in that sense. But yeah, I definitely spend a lot of time taking in information. So that's like something I do a lot. Yeah. I'm not really all that familiar with what energy dominant and information dominant means.
Right. Does energy mean anything to you in your own life, like not in a physics way? Like, do you have energy? Are you out of energy? Do you talk about your energy?
No, I don't really. I'm not really all that conscious of energy and such.
Right.
It's definitely not my jam.
Will this sort of thing, like that's happening right now, will it drain you? Like after we're done this, you're just going to need a break and you're just going to be like, okay, I need to relax?
I don't think so, really.
No? Okay.
I don't really feel all that drained by social interactions. I guess that kind of depends, because I feel like when I'm trying to kind of put up an act, that drains a lot of energy for me. So I try not to do that. So that's kind of a conscious choice in my like way of being, that I don't try to like put up a show or something. I try to just let it flow and not expend too much energy on like.
Do you spend energy trying to develop your personality, trying to make yourself likable?
Yeah, but I think I spend more energy on researching it than actually doing it.
Right.
So I would spend a lot of time just kind of yeah, it was more so before, when I was younger, and kind of like these tribe issues. I would like read all kind of articles and books on how to be more likable and such. And but now I'm still kind of conscious of that, of like being likable, but it's not like I'm trying to follow like rules or something. I just kind of have more like principles, I guess, and I try to kind of detach from that desire to be liked, because I feel like kind of the more I want it, the less I get. That's kind of weird, but so I kind of try to kind of detach from it and not try and make it a priority really. Because I think it was like Joseph Campbell who said it, that the priority of a lifetime is to be who you are or something. And that kind of resonates with me. So I feel like the most important thing is kind of just like being who you are freely. And because I guess that's kind of like...
Do you feel like being who you are might limit you from being who you can be? Or is it the same thing? Is being who you are being who you can be?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of weird, because at the same time as I'm I feel like being who I am is kind of a way for me of becoming a better person, you know, because I can kind of see that I at times can be quite fake. And yeah, so I have often kind of wondered, okay, am I kind of doubling down on my saviors now by being authentic? Or am I... But I feel like it feels quite right, you know, because it's not just being who you are as your saviors, but also being who you are as your demons. Because I'm not just my saviors, I'm also like...
That's right. Yeah.
Like my demons, you know. So that's kind of goes under the...
So it
umbrella.
depends on how you interpret the be who you are thing. So if you interpret it as just, you know, do what you naturally would normally do, then that's that's not...
Yeah, I think you need to have like a big understanding of who you are to kind of apply this principle in a responsible manner.
Right. Before you can be who you are, you have to figure out who you are.
Yeah, that's for sure.
As well. Yeah.
Just assume you are your TI or something.
I had a question, I forgot it. So we have a comment here. I don't... maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't. The most important... this is this. Okay, something really important. To be able to give up who we are for who we can be.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like to kind of just don't...
But what you were saying is who you are is who you can be.
In a sense, yes.
In a sense, right.
But at the same time, by assuming that you are someone, by kind of fixing yourself into this box, you are kind of limiting yourself.
So Thomas says he is agreeing with you as well, that DE doesn't mean being not authentic. It's about connecting with people. You can't do that without knowing who you are. You can't connect with other people without knowing who you are. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
So him as a savior DE would learn who he is through connecting with other people as well. Like that would be his... Do you feel like you learn who you are through how you connect with people? Do you feel like that's an aspect of discovering yourself?
Yeah, definitely feel like that's a way of
triangulating yourself, maybe.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of weird, since I fairly early on I took on the mindset that that I should push to be more likable, push to be more social and such. And I even took a year to just kind of at like a folk high school, where you just kind of stay at like this school kind of thing, where you just live with a bunch of other people, and it's just pretty much a social activity all the time. And I thought that would kind of be a good way of like dealing with my like tribe issues and such. But that was just so draining, you know, and I felt like that kind of made things worse, like to just push myself to be more social and all that. So I feel like I actually learned the most about myself by being more with myself, you know, to just getting away from people, actually, to just kind of reflect on who I am and get a sense of what I really want. Because I feel like when I'm with other people, it's easy to just kind of get sucked into that demon Effie neuroticism, I guess. But I feel like
Thomas is just saying that he's also using his demons to figure out who he is, which is good. Good job, Thomas.
okay.
And we have a thing here, a question. Would connection not require common interests, or is that just bonding? What's the difference between connection, common interests, or is that bonding? Like, what does connection mean for you?
I feel like it's more on an emotional level. You don't really need like common interests to have that.
Right.
I feel like it's fairly common to assume that you need to have common interests to connect with people, but I tend to think that is like a lie. Because people are so much than just their interests, you know.
Could you connect with someone while arguing with them and just having completely different understandings and conclusions on things, but still connect with someone by discussing things with them?
Yeah, I guess that kind of depends on the attitude. If like
Right.
it's a very heated argument, we're probably not going to bond very well, or we might do afterwards. But I think there should be like, yeah, I think that could be a good way to connect, because it does show a sign, like a kind of security, to be able to discuss with people without getting heated. That's kind of a healthy thing, I guess.
Do you get heated when you get into arguments?
No, I usually feel like other people get heated at me. So
Okay.
I don't really feel like I get heated. I don't really care all that much if people disagree with me. That's there are exceptions, of course. I have been in a lot of heated arguments too, on like Reddit and such. But
what if you feel like you've been dismissed? People are dismissing you, dismissing your point of view, not listening to you. Does that get you heated?
I generally don't get heated very often.
Okay.
But I definitely don't like it. People just dismiss my opinion, you know, just assume that I have nothing to bring to the table, you know.
Cool. Awesome. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? Any final message about your type?
Not really.
No.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah. Awesome. Great meeting you as well. Anyway, thank you, YouTube, for watching. Have a good one. Okay, we're done.